Today we're diving into something you might not think about much. The states where people just can't stop working, even after they hit 65. In some places, folks hit retirement age and say, nah, I'll keep clocking in, thanks. Maybe they want to have some extra cash in retirement, or maybe they just can't imagine life without the morning coffee run and office gossip. And that office gossip stuff is real. It's what keeps them alive. These are normally the same people that watch The Bachelor and think it's real. For many of you thinking about retirement, this is something to consider when looking at retirement spots. If it's too high, the problem might be something like the cost of living and housing are a bit too much for the average retiree, or it could be other reasons. Not financial. One older gentleman told me, I went back to work because I saw pretty much everything on Netflix, and where I live, there ain't much else to do. Since we're looking at all 50 states, it's a good idea to know what the national average is, and that would be 22% of all retirement age Americans are still working. All right, so that's what we're looking at today. Got it? Get it? Good. Let's take a look. Wyoming, 22%. Yep, right there at the national average. Wyoming is like Montana, but with fewer people and more cows. It's perfect if you've given up on human interaction entirely. Now, there's a few core reasons that people might go back to work. And it's probably not money. The state has a lower cost of living than most, but they have a strong connection to outdoor and ranching lifestyles, which can promote prolonged physical activity and engagement, meaning their legs and knees aren't all broken up already. They got a few years left in them, so why not work? Then there's Wyoming's rural and small town communities. Often see higher retention of retirement age workers due to the limited access to retirement services and pensions. Meaning they worked on a family farm or they had their own farm and they're not sitting on a big fat pension, so they kind of got to work. Which this sort of helps in a lot of different ways. Small businesses and farms really don't have a good training system, so you rely on the older generations or the older workers to teach you how to do these things. Wisconsin, 23%. Retire here if you enjoy cheese, beer, and enduring winters that make you question your life choices. Wisconsin isn't terribly expensive, but it's not the cheapest place, so a lot of them will keep working to put a little extra money in their pocket in retirement. Wisconsin's got a pretty good economy and a lot of part-time and seasonal opportunities for retirees to work at. And again, which you'll see a lot on this list, they've got a whole lot of dairies and farms, and you'll get a higher percentage that are working on family farms just like they always have. I mean, after all, this place is known as America's Dairyland. West Virginia, 15.7%. Yeah, that's pretty low. It's affordable, it's picturesque, but don't expect to get cell service in the mountains. If you've never been to West Virginia, I'm here to tell you the state is all mountains. It's known as the Mountain State. One of their college football teams is known as the Mountaineers. West Virginia has the lowest share of adults age 65 and older in the workforce among all U.S. states. One of the main reasons for this is they don't have a lot of jobs. Yeah, that's pretty much one of West Virginia's biggest problems. They don't have enough jobs to go around. There's a couple other factors like Social Security alone might be doable in most of West Virginia. That's how affordable it is. Now, I have no facts to back this one up, but I imagine most of the people there are kind of in bad shape. I mean, most of the state was employed in the coal industry for a lot of years. That is hard work. Those people have to be broken down a little bit at a higher percentage than most states. Washington State, 24.5% are still working. Rain, coffee, and retirees trying to understand TikTok trends. That's what it is. Side note to that, if you're going to be retiring, you should start a YouTube channel. If you can't find a job, honestly, if you were to get onto any of the YouTube people that train you how to do YouTube, listen to what they say. I'm sure within 6 months to a year, you could probably be making a little bit of money to supplement your Social Security or your retirement. I think I'm going to teach a class on that on my other channel. There's one main reason Washington has so many retirement age residents working. It's the cost of living. The cost of living is high, and they also have a lot of jobs. So the availability of decent paying jobs and the cost of living just move that needle a little more to the I'll go back to work decision-making process. Virginia, 23.1%. History, mountains, and beaches. Pick your flavor of retiree smugness. 65 and older Virginians choose to go back to work or stay working for a few different reasons. Financial security, healthcare needs, and a desire to stay active and engaged. They have a lot of healthcare headquarters in Virginia and a lot of really big hospitals. And in most cases, if you're an employee for a healthcare provider, you get free healthcare. So Medicaid or Medicare, whatever you got, is not the greatest thing in the world. But if you're getting it for free from, like, let's say, Kaiser or Providence, that's a win. My wife worked for Kaiser for a long time. I had a surgery. You know how much I paid? I think it was $10 for my medication. I think there was like a $50 copay or something like that for the surgery. That was about 7 years ago. I'm sure things have changed, but not that much. Vermont, 27.9%. Retire here for the maple syrup, but leave for the winters. The winters can be brutal in this part of the country. Vermont has one of the highest shares of adults aged 65 or older who remain in the workforce. This places Vermont among the top 10 states with the highest percentage of working retirement age adults. This is likely due to a combination of lifestyle, health, and financial factors, because the cost of living in Vermont is pretty high. New England also has a strong emphasis on community involvement and meaningful work. It's just their culture. It's a little bit different from other parts of the country. So actually sitting back and retiring, to a lot of them, feels like they're letting things go. Utah, 21%. The mountains are calling, but so are your neighbors who think you should join their church. Yeah, that's a big thing here. Their high rate reflects Utah's relatively healthy and active older population, as well as the state's relatively high cost of living, which can encourage continued employment among seniors. Utah's population is known for its strong sense of community and family values, which often encourages older adults to remain at work or volunteer roles. Texas, 22.4%. If you move here or retire here, you'll learn that the everything is bigger in Texas might just be about their bugs. They have some huge bugs there. Texas has a considerable portion of their seniors who choose or need to work, likely influenced by a few different factors: healthcare access, state tax benefits, and an affordable cost of living in some areas, making it possible for retirees to balance their part-time work with a good quality of life. A lot of people just see Dallas, Houston, and the cities, then they see pictures of dirt. A lot of people don't realize that there is a lot of agriculture and energy going on in Texas. That's where a lot of them will work. Like we talked about farms earlier. A lot of older folks stay working on the family farms. Their kids might run it, they might have other employees, but they're still around working. Tennessee, 20.3%. Low taxes, country music, and enough barbecue to make you forget what your doctor said about cholesterol. This places the volunteer state well below the national average and reflects that more Tennesseans may either feel financially secure enough to retire or are choosing a traditional retirement age compared to states with higher employment rates among seniors. The smaller towns are a little more affordable than most states. Small towns. So this may make it easier for seniors to stop working and not have to worry about it too much. They also really take it easy on the taxes, so that's going to help also. South Dakota, 23.8%. This is a place to retire if you like things like Mount Rushmore and have no interest in a Costco being within 100 miles of you. South Dakota is a little above the national average, and many of the residents choose to stay engaged in the workforce well into retirement age, whether it's for economic reasons, personal fulfillment, or lifestyle preferences. I know one guy that retired like 3 years ago, and he likes to go on cruises like every 3 months, so likes to knock out about 4 a year. Well, he realized he'd have to limit that down to about 2 a year, so he went back to work. It's part-time, but it helps him. And yes, he's in South Dakota. South Carolina, 21.2%. Hot summers, mild winters, and enough charm to make you consider taking up gardening. This may be influenced by South Carolina's lower cost of living and its popularity as a retirement destination. And they have a ton of halfbacks in South Carolina. Halfbacks are people that went down to Florida, decided it wasn't for them, and went halfway back to New York. Technically, it's not halfway back, it's just what they call people like that. It also helps that the state exempts Social Security benefits from taxation and provides generous deductions for other forms of retirement income. Rhode Island, 25%. Yeah, that's rough. 25%. The smallest state where everyone knows your name and your business. Rhode Island's relatively high share of working seniors may be attributed to its small size and proximity to major economic hubs like Boston and New York. Seniors in Rhode Island might find ample opportunity for part-time and flexible jobs, also seasonal jobs. They get a lot of cruise ships in there and people coming there during the summer. So a lot of the people working will just pull off a part-time seasonal job. Pennsylvania, 24.2%. Retirement is just one long search for the perfect cheesesteak in Pennsylvania. At least if that's where I retired, that's how it'd be going. I love a good cheesesteak. We only got one really good place here in Portland that I've found that has a good cheesesteak. It's called Steakadelphia. Now, the amount of senior workers and how high it is influenced by the state's diverse economy and opportunities for flexible and part-time employment in industries like healthcare, education, manufacturing. Oddly enough, Pittsburgh, not being as expensive as Philadelphia, has a higher rate of working seniors. I think it's due to their work ethic. Those people just like to work. Steel country, you know? Oregon, 23.5%. Retire here for craft beer and that outdoorsy vibe. And don't bring an umbrella. They know you're not a local when you pull out an umbrella. A good rain jacket is all you need here in Oregon. Oregon is known for its strong focus on outdoor activities, sustainable living, and a vibrant local economy. Which, it does have a good economy. It just has a whole bunch of other problems. A lot of the people of retirement age that are working work for little, small businesses. We have a whole bunch, and a lot of them have to do with art or coffee shops or things like that. And you'll find a lot of older people working in those, and that helps drive up their percentage. Oklahoma, 18.9%. Windy and flat, but at least you can afford a second retirement hobby, tornado watching. Oklahoma's relatively low-cost living compared to other states may contribute to fewer seniors needing to stay in the workforce. In the Sooner State, it's a little bit easier to live comfortably on savings and pensions and even Social Security benefits. Ohio, 21.8%. Affordable living with a side of existential dread every time someone brings up sports. This is sports country. Ohio's one of the states that goes crazy for football, all the way from Pee-wee to professional. For those of you that don't know what Pee-wee is, they also call it Pop Warner. But in Ohio, the over-the-hill gang still working is close to the national average, and it reflects a balanced approach where many older adults transition out of the workforce at traditional retirement ages, yet a significant number continue working. For the most part, it's in healthcare and manufacturing. North Dakota, 32.3%. Move here if you love peace and quiet and the constant threat of frostbite. North Dakota has the second highest percentage of adults aged 65 or older remaining in the workforce at 32.3%. Like I said earlier, the national average is 22%. This is another one where the high percentage has to do with rural economies where farming and energy are dominant. For the most part, you're going to find them on family farms. North Carolina, 22.7%. Retire in the mountains or at the beach, but either way, you'll spend a lot of time dodging tourists and people that just relocated to North Carolina. It's become very popular over the last handful of years. North Carolina's rapidly growing economy, especially in industries like healthcare, education, and technology, provide ample opportunities for seniors seeking employment. A lot of seniors work in the tech industry and healthcare industry. Normally, it's supporting roles, like they work in the cafeteria or things like that. When it comes to healthcare, in my experience, it's usually the nurses and doctors. They like to stick with it as long as they can. They probably don't need the money. It's just what they do and they feel good doing it. New York, 29.3%. If you can afford to retire here, you should have just bought a private island instead. The high cost of living in New York, especially in New York City, may be key factors to driving seniors to continue working. Many retirees in the state may choose to stay in the workforce to maintain their standard of living or to benefit from the state's robust healthcare and social security system. They also have a lot of good laws that help protect seniors that want to stay in the workforce. New Mexico, 19.2%. Stunning sunsets, adobe everywhere, and the constant smell of green chili. This lower percentage may reflect the state's affordable cost of living, allowing more seniors to retire fully without needing to supplement their income. New Mexico, I think, is overlooked by a lot of people, and I think it's just starting to catch on with retirees, but it's known for its mild climate, cultural richness, and scenic beauty. They do have some problems in their cities, but every place does. New Jersey, 33.8%. That's rough. Retire here and enjoy paying tolls just to leave your neighborhood. That's how New Jersey is. It's weird. New Jersey has the highest percentage of adults aged 65 or older that are still in the workforce. This means that nearly 1/3 of New Jersey's senior population continues to work, significantly surpassing the national average. Again, 22%. The high share of retirement age workers is likely influenced by the elevated cost of living, especially in housing and property taxes. New Jersey likes its taxes. New Hampshire, 30.9%. Live free or die is a fun motto until you see the winter heating bill. It can get rough in New Hampshire. New Hampshire ranks second in the nation, just behind New Jersey. New Hampshire has a strong economy and a really low unemployment rate. Nevada, 24%. You could spend your retirement in Nevada where Social Securities go to die in a slot machine. Nevada is often considered a retiree-friendly state due to its lack of state income tax and warm climate. However, the high workforce participation among seniors might suggest that many retirees either seek to stay active through work or need additional income to supplement their retirement. This is especially true in their bigger cities like Reno and Vegas. Nebraska, 22.5%. People love retiring in Nebraska, especially if they love college football and watching grass grow. The 22% reflects Nebraska's strong work ethic and availability of employment opportunities that accommodate older workers. Again, farming, education, healthcare. Montana, 23%. Montana's rural and agricultural economy often encourage retirement age individuals to remain involved in work, especially farming, ranching, and small businesses like we've seen before. They don't have a lot of people in Montana. They're getting more all the time, but they don't have a lot, so this does play a part in it, especially seasonal jobs when people come there to visit, see the different touristy things. Missouri, 15.8%. Missouri has one of the lowest shares of working adults aged 65 or older in the U.S. This suggests that a significant portion of Missouri's senior population opts for full retirement, possibly due to factors like a low cost of living or stronger social safety nets compared to other states. Missouri is also known for being a retirement-friendly state, with affordable housing and a moderate cost of living. Mississippi, 16.9%. This is another state that the low cost of living and low housing costs make it so that a lot of seniors don't have to work. Also, again, farming. A lot of family farms in Mississippi, too. Minnesota, 24.1%. Minnesota constantly ranks as one of the healthiest states also, and it has excellent health care and a high quality of life. These factors contribute to older adults staying active and, again, in the workforce longer. Michigan, 21.4%. This probably has a lot to do with so many people in Detroit getting shot, they don't show up for work. Sure, they're a little below the national average, but Michigan's historic reliance on the auto industry and manufacturing has shaped retirement trends. Many workers in these industries have access to pension plans and union-negotiated retirement benefits, potentially allowing earlier retirement compared to states with a less unionized workforce. Massachusetts, 26.9%. This one is easily the cost of living. You could have a pretty good pension, Social Security, whatever. You're going to still struggle in Massachusetts on just those, so a lot of seniors are still working. Maryland, 31.2%. Yeah, Maryland's one of the highest shares of working adults. 65 and older. That indicates nearly 1/3 of Maryland's senior population remain actively employed, showcasing a strong trend of continued workforce engagement. Now, I'm sure most of you, when you think of Maryland, you're just thinking about Baltimore, and you know all the crime stats and all that, and you think that this whole state is just horrible because of one major city. No, it's a pretty nice and expensive state, so a lot of people in Maryland still got to keep working. Maine, 26.5%. Maine has one of the oldest populations in the U.S., with a median age of around 45.1%. Most states hover between 36% and 40%. The national average is just over 38%. So 45.1 years, that's pretty high. The demographic tends to mean a larger share of the state's workforce is nearing or at retirement age. Many of those individuals continue to work, potentially driven by the state's rural economy, where self-employment and small business ownership are common among older residents. Louisiana, 17.6%. Louisiana's vibrant culture and relatively low cost of living and a strong emphasis on family and community might encourage early retirement. Additionally, industries like agriculture, oil, and hospitality, which are key to Louisiana's economy, often involve physically demanding jobs, possibly prompting older workers to retire sooner. I don't want to get too far in the weeds with this, but I was reading an article while I was researching this, and it talked about how Louisiana and Mississippi have some of the hardest farming in the country. I know nothing about farming, I'm just going off what someone said. And it would make sense in Louisiana, they don't have a lot of people working in farming that are of 65 and older. Kentucky, 18.3%. This suggests a larger portion of Kentucky's senior population chooses to fully retire compared to other states. And obviously, in Kentucky, they've got a cost of living and housing that's pretty low. So if you don't have to, you don't got to. Kansas, 21.7%. Kansas, again, farming sector, all that. Family farms, small businesses, and a low cost of living is going to keep it pretty low. I would expect it to be a little bit lower, but it's just below the national average. Iowa, 22.9%. Again, hovering around the average. Iowa's economy is heavily based on farming and local businesses, which provide flexible, seasonal, and part-time work. So, that's what keeps them in there, even though the cost of living is pretty low. Indiana, 20.8%. Indiana's economy is heavily based on manufacturing. A lot of people think it's farming. Farming does play a major part, but manufacturing is king as far as income goes. Manufacturing often has a high demand for skilled labor. Some retirement age workers continue part-time roles or consulting positions in this field, leveraging their industry experience and, great stories about when movies were a nickel. Illinois, 23.7%. If you're looking at some of the cities in Illinois, especially Chicago, it's terribly expensive, so they have to work here. And considering that's where a large majority of the population is, it's going to affect the whole state's numbers. Idaho, 20.5%. This relatively modest rate may reflect Idaho's appeal as a retirement destination, where many seniors move to enjoy the outdoor activities and a slower pace of life, rather than extending their careers. Hawaii, 28.3%. This places Hawaii amongst the top states for senior workforce participation, reflecting both a strong work culture and the state's high cost of living, the absolute highest in the nation. A lot of people over 65 that are still working often take seasonal jobs in tourism, hospitality, things like at hotels, whatever. Georgia, 21.9%. This indicates a modest level of workforce participation among seniors, which might reflect the relatively affordable cost of living in many parts of Georgia. Now, go to Atlanta, we're talking a different story. Savannah's same way, very expensive. But most of Georgia is relatively affordable, so this means they don't have some high number of retirees still, punching a time clock. Florida, 25.6%. Now, this one surprises me. So many retirees going down there, you'd think they're going down there not to work. But then you look at what they are working in, and it starts making sense. Seasonal part-time roles are well suited for seniors, and they have tons of those in Florida. Delaware, 27.2%. Delaware is known for its tax-friendly policies, especially for retirees. They've got no sales tax and low property taxes. These favorable tax conditions make it financially viable for seniors to stay in the workforce longer, as they can retain more of their income and actually live a little bit better. Connecticut, 30.3%. Yeah, Connecticut's high cost of living and wealth-driven economy may incentivize seniors to work longer to maintain their lifestyle. The state is home to numerous industries, including finance, education, and healthcare, which often provide opportunities for older professionals. Colorado, 27.3%. Now, Colorado is kind of a strange one. A lot of people will retire to Colorado just for the outdoors. For a long time, they were very affordable. Now, not so much, but still, people retire there all the time. And a lot of them, when they retire to Colorado, especially in the Denver metro area, they continue to work, especially in industries like education, healthcare, and outdoor recreation. Again, a lot of seasonal work, part-time work. California, 24.8%. This one kind of surprises me. Many retirement-age workers in California remain active in specialized fields like technology, entertainment, and academia. Schooling. The state's innovation-driven and creative industries offer roles that are knowledge-based and less physically demanding, making them attractive for seniors who want to continue contributing their expertise while enjoying flexible work arrangements. Arkansas, 18.7%. Arkansas's rural lifestyle and natural beauty, with attractions like the Ozark Mountains and Hot Springs National Park, may appeal to retirees seeking a quieter and more relaxing retirement life. Many seniors might prioritize leisure over continued work, contributing to the state's low rate. Arizona, 23.4%. This is notable given Arizona's reputation as a retirement destination, suggesting that many seniors either choose or need to remain economically active despite the state's appeal as a place to settle down after you're done working for the man. Arizona's economy is bolstered by industries such as tourism and healthcare, which provide a lot of flexible part-time employment opportunities for seniors. Alaska, 22.1%. I'm a little surprised they're at the national average because the cost of living in this state is pretty expensive. Alaska does provide a lot of seasonal industries like fishing, tourism, and construction. But if you're doing construction in Alaska, you got to be a pretty rough 65-year-old. I don't know how that's going to work out. I know I'm not going to be up for doing construction at this age, and I'm not even 60 yet. All right, before we get to our last one, if you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. It's free. You just click that little subscribe button, give this video a big thumbs up, and tell me which one surprised you in the comment section below. All right, on to our last one. Alabama, 19.5%. Alabama has significant rural population, and many retirement-age workers in the state may remain employed in roles tied to agriculture and local businesses. Healthcare support services is another big one here. Additionally, the presence of close-knit communities could make part-time or flexible work opportunities appealing for seniors who want to stay engaged in the local traditions and community. So there you have it. What percentage of retirees are still working after 65? Everybody have a great day. Be nice to each other.